Hello and welcome back to Grind to Learn as we turn the flying brick into a proper ship. So let's get started. Alright, we're back with our prisoner soup, and of course we are lifting the ban of no jetpack, the no suit situation. While we're doing that, I learned that the planetary encounters actually do not have a medical bay or a medical room in whatever. Right, so there's a reason why it took so long for me to release another Grind to Learn episode, and that's because we turned this thing into this. Goodbye, flying brick, and welcome to the proper ship. Does it have a name? No, it does not. If you want to contribute to naming the ship, feel free to drop a comment down below. Alright, so this was recorded after the fieldwork update has been released. That way, we can add things like these O2H2 generators with the bubbles, which I enjoy very much. And today's episode will be a slightly different because it is going to be a time-lapse episode of the build, and also, because I ran out of materials, some of the scrapping and salvaging of these planetary encounters, which I'm sitting next to for no apparent reason. So, cue in the time-lapse. Alright, so the series itself has become a bit on the stale side, only because it's been a bit difficult to really do anything without a jetpack. So I couldn't build the ship properly, so I built a brick. But since we lift the ban, this is what we could do with it. And also, because we couldn't get any hydrogen or ice or anything like that, we did find an economy base nearby with the one that we set off to sail to, which is the ISMN station, which I did get up to in a previous recording. I kind of scrapped that episode because it was just generally me flying around, taking over 2 of the planetary encounters, which is nothing really special. But we did do some extra stuff too. But might as well put it all in one big episode. A nice time lapse and talk about the entire build of this whole ship. Okay, so first things first. We were able to get a bunch of hydrogen from the economy base. We sat there for hours building the ship and we filled it up. So we got pretty much 100%, close to 100% there. I don't know why it says 100% on 2 tanks. Not sure if that's enough to get into space. It might be, it might not be. I'm not too sure. But I did add additional tanks using the fieldwork update and pack with the nice little hydrogen tanks here. So these are the small hydrogen tanks, which don't carry too much, but I thought I might as well add a few more on both sides. And before we talk about the ship itself and what I did to it, we did create a bit of a drone system right here, or a remote control drone. I called it the Assault RC for now. And it is equipped with basically 1 battery, a ton of small thrusters, the fan version, camera, connector, gyroscope, remote control antenna, blah, blah, blah. And this thing here, which is an assault cannon. A small one, at least. A small grade one. So yeah, a quick little drone right here just to kind of shoot down any turrets and everything like that as best as we could. Unfortunately, didn't have much success with that, so it is what it is. Right, but it took a few hours to create this whole entire thing, and some of it I even built after the fact of the time lapse. So here's the ship. Let's kind of walk through it from the bottom up. So I did this in the unreleased episode, which I believe I will probably just set it for members. If anything, it's just an extra video. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and also consider joining the membership. The playground, as I call it, as well. So I created these kind of landing gear situations. I did it with a half block in between, which is, or maybe not a half block, a slope block. Very simple, heavy armor slope block, the tip version one. Probably shouldn't have done that. I should probably done a full half block type of situation, but I thought it'd be interesting to add it this way. So it'd be less contact on the wheels and let the wheels kind of blow up instead of having this block blow up, if anything. If it lands too hard. So each one of these kind of landing gear situations, kind of like a plane landing gear, right? It's got the 2 wheels left and right. We did some in the back here. So total of 6 wheels on each side. And it's helped me travel a little bit by driving to save on power. And landing a little bit, which has been great because the more stuff we carry, the heavier this whole thing gets. And of course down here, we can change it up because we no longer need a small cargo container here. But we could put in somewhat of a half block situation where we could put a cargo terminal that we got from the fieldwork pack. But yeah, this whole entire ship has been reworked, and on the outside, we throw in some of these heavy armor half blocks. We threw in the turret here. This one I kind of regret putting here, so I might remove this one. We'll think about that later. We got the rows of assault cannons, and then we have the artillery cannons right over there. Towards the bridge, we did a little bit of kind of changing up right over here. Some kind of meshed in here for the bridge system. Unfortunately, I can't really do much with the bridge system right in front because it's right next to this artillery cannon, which I should put it a little bit more forward. Then I should be able to design all this in front, which I still probably can do. Not much we could do with this here in terms of windows, so we left it as this. I mean, this block could be a window, this block could be a window, but this here can't be a window because there's no such thing as that window there. But coloring it into a darker color, it kind of blends right in with the window anyway, so that kind of worked out. So we did a little bit more little accents here, random little designs back here in yellow. This we already had originally. So in the back, we try to hide an atmospheric thruster. So we lowered it, we hit it, but didn't really turn out too well, but looks decent enough. This middle section, I curved it out a little bit, put it in a darker color so it looks like a shadow-ish type of thing for the nacelles. And the nacelles, of course, took the longest to work. So you have here an atmospheric thruster in between this kind of design over here, and it did a lot of pointiness here with it. We originally covered the atmospheric thrusters, the fan versions, a little bit, and have just the pointy bit exposed, but it just looked too big as a nacelle, so we decided to kind of remove that and leave it exposed this way because it has a nice little design to it on its own. And of course the backward thruster, slightly different from the back, where it looks like it's opening up more than it's closing up, which is the same kind of design there. We added an additional Gatling turret right over here in front. And of course, we added some solar panels. So the solar panels kind of was an afterthought, but we just did this for now, as it's not going to collect a lot of sun, obviously, and a lot of power, but this is going to have to work for now. And for the moment, we have power charging up on these turbines, as we're just sitting here to get some power up and running on this big old ship. And of course, the nacelle on the opposite side is the same thing, nothing different. So the inside, we added a camera here. Originally, at one point, we had a top-mounted camera right here, which was hard to see. So I put on a slope tip here, just to make it easier to use the camera. And we added a hangar door right over here, along with the ladders. So here's the ladders to get back up, just in case. Oop, I think I forgot to add some ladders down there. I think I added it on the other side. Yes, I did. So now we have a hangar door here. Get everything airtight. This space here is just, just to hang out here for now. Once we walk in, you do have a bit of a helm inside a booth. Why I did this? Well, when I was battling some of the planetary encounters, they actually shot the inside first when my helm was here initially, which destroyed my helm, and then it destroyed back here as well, which I'm hiding with the windows and everything like that, a refill station, and also some cargo terminals. When I didn't have the hangar doors as protection or this booth here, it just basically shot right inside and destroyed this whole section and also the cargo container right over here, which is the main large cargo container for the ship. So that was really, really bad. So I'm just covering up with some glass. And these glass are kind of basically double paneled. So meaning this window here is towards this block and this window here is towards that block. So you see we have that window there, the bridge window type thing. And then we have another flat panel window right over here. And that should probably protect as much as possible. And I'm hoping it will protect as much as possible. We added a little bit of piping work here for the Gatling on the side and also the top. And I used this one so it's just easier to kind of like walk right underneath it. And the booth here, we have the helm, which we could change it to a seat. We could put an air vent underneath it as well. Put a seat or whatever, just get some oxygen here. Not like in the lab doors where I can't walk in, as you see here. So it's got a bit of issues for some reason when you're in a slant like we're in now. But still a nice little kind of booth thing here going on where we can enter the helm to drive it. We probably should use more protection here, but should be good enough. So if we get alerted, if we get damaged, we can always shut the hangar doors anyways. And of course, we made this place airtight. We try to make everything airtight as much as possible. So then if anything, when we're in space, we don't have to worry about oxygen in terms of a bottle. So this is on depressurization right now, but if you turn it off and close this, which we'll talk about in a second, we are airtight right in front in the landing area for our drones, our small ships, and things like that. So unfortunately, we have a bit of a leak in this section for some odd reason. I'm not sure what that leak is. Or is there a leak now? Okay, never mind. It resolved itself. So at one point or another, there was a leak in the middle room. but it seems to kind of fix itself, so that's not too bad. We're gonna add another one right over here for now. Oh no, see? It did resolve itself. Something's going on. Now it's saying we're not pressurized. Yep, we're not pressurized. So what was that about? Not sure. There is a bit of a leak somewhere. I gotta find it. But the middle section, we didn't make much changes other than the tanks that we put there. We still have the survival kit right over here, but we did hook it up to the port and throw in this little ring system here to kind of like hide that it's sideways. Kind of. Not really. We added the small H2s, and then we added these round corridors. So this one transitions to the outside back here. Into the regular corridors with the transition block. So these are nice little blocks. We still didn't finish everything in here. I gotta put some more stuff inside, like batteries and such. We do have our secondary reactor all finished. And then if we go to this kind of like third floor, there is a bit of a whole window system right out here for no apparent reason. So just kind of see the whole docking station and everything like that. Right next to this O2H2 generator, which looks like we kind of killed all the ice. Interesting. So we have that on both sides. We need to add more here to kind of get through to the other section. But we do have these hatch doors and everything like that, which we've done previously. So we can walk into here. But yeah, not sure where the leak is. We'll find that sooner or later. Could be something's broken or something like a iron tank is sticking out or something like that, which we need to close. But yeah, heading over to the top where we get close to the bridge. We didn't do anything here, although we could put a lot more stuff down here. We haven't touched it just yet. The bridge, we didn't add too much more. We just added these seats here because I needed our camera person to be sitting on something. So they sat on that. So for the time being, I'll add this to the workshop if you want to play around with this ship. Probably just going to be called the proper ship on the workshop for now. But once we gather a little bit more materials, we're going to end up attaching a ton of hydrogen thrusters on this thing so we can get into space. So our current loot is this, which is not much at all. It's decent, but still not the best. Right now, we're going to sit here, charge up until we're ready to go to get more materials and then retrofit some hydrogen thrusters on this thing. Maybe even some ion thrusters. Maybe. But I think more or less we're going to do hydrogen. Once we're in space and we want to continue this adventure, we're going to have to retrofit it with some ion thrusters. Okay, so let's see. Underneath here, we have the piston, which may or may not be the issue with the air leak. And technically, since we have jetpacks now, we could kind of just remove this, which I kind of feel like that's probably the best bet to do. So we'll remove this. Yeah, that's the leak here. Oh, the survival kit was the leak. Okay, so that's the problem. We will eliminate that problem, and we should have a nice secured airtight space there. We could leave this here, although we could change it into a cargo terminal, which we use the half-block version if we really, really wanted to. So we have access to this. And we could probably change this out also to a regular half-block instead of these slants. But we'll leave it for now. But I think we resolved the air leak that I was suspecting. So there's a hole here that I covered up. There's a hole here covered up. A hole here covered up, and a hole not covered up. So this here is my depressurizing air vent. So this is connected to the refinery up top, but that's what is filling up my O2H2 system for now. And if we're going to space, we probably want to put 2 more O2 tanks just in case, so we have a lot of oxygen to collect. We could remove all the atmospheric thrusters. We could convert those mostly into hydrogen thrusters or ion thrusters and things like that, so we can make it space ready. And what we could do is do a attachment either in the back or underneath or anywhere else, maybe even the front, for a first stage atmospheric thruster to shoot up into space. I think we should probably do that instead. Basically a 2-stage ship to get into space. Atmosphere thrusters first. Once that runs dry, you turn our hydrogen, our ion thrusters, and float in space and explore there. Alright, so that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse. If you did, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment down below, even to just say hi. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.